Hello, my name is Sawan Gadhvi and I study at IANT, Quality and Center. And my course currently is CHNA, hardware. And I am currently, at this moment, I am studying MBS. So today I'll be talking about hubs and switches. The next slide, please. Next. There are certain types of network. There are actually a lot of types of network devices, but I have been focusing on two because I find them really interesting. Next slide, please. Hub. Types of network devices there are: hub, switch, router, bridge, gateway, modem, repeater, and access point. Okay. These are these devices for networking which I will discuss about. That are hub and switch because I find them most interesting. Obviously, hub explain. Now I will hub is very simple. I will explain I will be brief because it might take 10 minutes or so. Hub is very simple but wastes bandwidth. Here's why. Next slide. Network with a hub. Hub is connected and created a network. It is very simple but has a problem. Let me explain. Next slide, please. As you can see now, the computer A is sending packets or bits, you can call them, to the hub, but it doesn't know that which part is which system has to receive that. So, for example, if I want to send a bit, let's call them bits. If I want to send them bits to this computer B, the hub doesn't know. Hub isn't smart. The hub won't know which it doesn't have MAC addresses like let's say switch. So it will send to C and B. That's a problem. Next slide. Now, when you send that, as I say, they will flood every. Let's say in this example there are only 3 systems connected. Okay, let's say there are 5. Now, if you're sending from computer A to B, the problem is the other 3 uninterested parties will know about your clones because these are clones. Hub doesn't know which to be sent on which receiver's address. It doesn't have MAC addresses, and it never will unless switch comes up. Next slide. Now, how hub behaves? See, I clearly told you. If you have 5 hosts connected to the hub, 3 of them will receive unnecessary data. Unnecessary. That's a good. Just keep it in mind. Emphasis on unnecessary data, and not to mention it could cause data collision. Now, data collision, I know everyone knows that. Yes. Okay. So I'm assuming everyone knows that. Also, keep in mind, others can see the data. This can become a privacy problem. So now if you are addicted to, I don't know, cartoons or anything like that, it can be, someone can just download Wireshark can, in the sense to say, hack your private data. You don't want that, right? Next slide, please. The switch, the smarter brother of the hub. To put it simply, the switch is better in every way compared to the hub. After the problem discussed earlier, the IE is a company that released the hub. They released CSMA first, that is the hub, but it didn't work like just I explained. But then they released switch as to solve the problem. Next slide, please. The benefits of MAC addresses. Now, this is where things get interesting. Now, switch does not only broadcast unicast, but it also multicast data. I will explain why. First of all, these are MAC addresses. Everything is done here. You don't need anything. But I will start from this page. Next slide, please. Network with a switch. Let's say I want to send a packet from A to C. This packet is going to A to C, but at this moment the switch will act as a hub because it doesn't know that it doesn't have the database of MAC addresses. You can see it's empty. All right. So first the packet will send broadcasted as a hub. As a hub, it will flood the everything. So the packet will send broadcasted because there is no database which with information on which computer the packet is to be sent. Without any database, it will act as a hub, as I said, and will send the packet to all of the systems. But it is learning. Keep in mind, it is learning at this point. Through checking the MAC addresses of every computer, it is sending data packets to. Next slide, please. See, I just told you that it will act as a hub. So now it has sent data packets to every B, D and C. But we only wanted to give the data to C. Alright? Initial reaction of a switch. This is the initial reaction of a switch. Keep in mind, switch does have RAM. So that's why they can perform such tasks as having database. And that's important. At this point, it will behave like a hub, as I said, and flood the entire network, but it is still learning. Next slide, please. Now, storing the information of MAC addresses. Switch will store the MAC addresses of interfaces in their database. Okay? See, now it knows the sender's MAC address. Now it knows that A is 6 times. Okay? And these are interfaces 1, 3, 6, 4. Next slide. Packet from C to A. This is where switch comes handy. That means switch becomes really useful. So now notice that switch has learned the MAC address of a system A. This is A. So it no longer needs to broadcast. First, it needed to be broadcast because it didn't have the MAC addresses and would act like a hub. Now notice the switches data, and by learning like this, it can directly unicast. It can directly unicast. Emphasis on the word unicast. Unicast data from A to C3. That is this one. Next slide, please. So now, does it not only know the interface of first computer A, now it also knows the MAC addresses of computer interface 3, C, and 6 times CC. Now it can also multicast, because if I wanted to send the data, let's say from A to C and D, I would need to multicast, obviously. So multicasting, it can happen like that. Multicast, because it knows the exact location of each system. Next slide, please. The difference between hub and switches. A switch is effectively a higher performance alternative to a hub. People tend to benefit from a switch over a hub if their home network has 4 or more computers, as I said. If there are 5 hosts, other 3 uninterested parties will get the data, they can hack you and stuff like that. More computers, or if they want to use the home network for applications that generate significant amounts of network traffic, which could cause a data collision. Like multiplayer games, all of you play multiplayer games, no joke. Or heavy music file sharing. Technically speaking, hubs operate using a broadcast model, and switches operate using virtual circuit model. When four computers are connected a hub, for example, and 2 of those computers communicate with each other, simply pass through all network traffic to each of the 4 computers. Now that's a problem. That's a big problem. Switch doesn't do that. Initially switch does that, but not later on. Switches, on the other hand, as I said, on the other hand, are capable of forwarding data to one computer that actually needs it, not unnecessary data. The data that the receiver needs that. Alright? By traffic element such as Ethernet frame and selectively forwarding data to the one computer that actually needs it by generating less network traffic. Less network traffic also means less data collision. You understand what I am saying?
Yeah.
Generating less traffic and delivering messages, a switch performs better than a hub on busy networks. Of course, there are not always going to be 5 hosts. There could be like IANT. There could have like 20 or 20 so computers. And using a hub is stupid to say the least. It's not very intelligent. You are better off with the switch. Thank you. And next slide please. Thank you for listening to me.